All right. Cheers to another one of these walking talks. I'm out here, and it is quite late today. It's like 1:30 in the morning. Not that many people. It's, big road here. Everyone's kind of sleeping, so I gotta be a bit quiet. But yeah, to film another one of these. So last time I talked a bit about student life and stuff. This time I thought I'd talk a bit more about work life. I've kind of touched on it a bit in previous videos, but actually I have to say I'm quite happy with how my channel is picking up a bit. Originally I just made these videos to kind of make a journal of my life here and kind of for personal use, to look back on it and stuff. But it seems like you all kind of enjoy it, which is quite interesting. Yeah, so let's see. Work life here. So work life is gonna really, really vary depending on your individual situation, because there are many different types of companies that you can enter. And as a foreigner, your experience is going to be different than a Japanese person. That's just kind of how it is. And the only cars I'm really seeing right now are taxis. I mean, there are other cars too, but I've seen like 3 or 4 taxis in the past 5 minutes. And very few other cars. Because everyone's sleeping. Anyway. So, there are different types of companies, right? There's, very generally speaking, there's Japanese kind of run companies and foreign run companies, kind of like more global companies. A while ago, the norm was to stay at the same company your whole life. So you graduate from university, you join your first company, and you just kind of stay there. And you work, and you progress, get promoted, and whatnot. It's a very safe way to do it. People thought that, well, they still do think that working at the same company shows that like you can be trusted, I guess is the reason for it. But that's just kind of how the culture is here. However, now things are changing a bit. Many people are changing companies more often, and changing companies is seen as less of a bad thing than it once was in the past. So, yeah, things are changing just a little bit. But yeah, so that kind of goes for more like Japanese people and their work experience. But as a foreigner, yeah, your experience is going to be different. So you can come over here. Some people do come over here as like job transfers. So you can get transferred from your company that you're already working at in your home country, then come on over here and continue doing that. And your experience is probably gonna be pretty good. You're probably gonna make a decent salary, much better than someone who's coming over here as an English teacher. And yeah, I should say someone who's coming over here to teach English for the first time. Yeah. And work at like a language school or be an ALT, which is like an assistant language teacher. Yeah, your salary is going to be probably a lot better. You're going to be thrown into more of a day-to-day work life cycle. Whereas an English teacher, especially at like a language school, you're gonna be working from like 12 to 9 probably. That's how most of them are. Oh, there's a train coming, so we'll get a good video of that. But yeah, anyway. So, while I wait for this train to come here, take a sip of my beer, continue talking. All right. So, yeah. So anyway, for me, my experience is I did come here as an English teacher, and I was, put into that kind of schedule. I was working from 12 to 9 on the weekdays, and I believe my first company was actually 9 to 5 on the weekends, and I think I had like Sundays and Mondays off, something like that, right? So that's just kind of how it was, because language schools have to teach people when they're available. Oh, here comes the train. I hear it. It's coming. Oh. Yeah, so wait, I'll talk about that in a second. Oh, it's gonna be the really long freight train. There's like a really, oh god, I hope not. That wouldn't be very good for the video. Oh, it is. It is the long freight train. Coming that way? It's coming that way. Oh, there we go. Oh, this thing's slow. Oh. I hope you can hear me. Now it looks like I have a reason to videotape it, right? These people behind me. Okay. It's actually not that long, but it does pass through. So this is a track that's used for JR line, but like for passenger trains. But at night it does get used by freight. I assume that's kind of the same on all JR lines, but because trains here are not 24 hours. There is a last train. Like there's a last train usually sometime around midnight. So I guess that's the way that they move around and stuff. Oh, are you stopping right in the middle here, buddy? Oh man, guys, this is gonna be a while. Right? I don't usually edit my videos, but maybe I should. Let's see. Maybe it's interesting for you all to see all this freight here. Look how tiny the little cars are. They're quite tiny. Let me stop over here. Ah, there we go. All right. So there's a law here that you have to stop at a railroad crossing. Like no matter what, you have to like stop and look right and look left, and then you can go. So you'll see. Well, I guess that person didn't really do it. But see, even though you know that there's no one coming, you gotta look right, and then you gotta look left. Yeah. All right. So we were talking about work culture in Japan. I was saying that I first came here. I worked at like an English school and whatnot, and my experience there was probably very well. Yeah, I can actually tell you with great good certainty that it was quite unique. I worked for a company that was run by foreigners, so the head guy at the company was a foreigner, and yeah, that made things a bit different. The Japanese staff he was not the best guy though, but the Japanese staff was treated very differently than the foreign staff, which is the case still at my schools I work at now. And yeah, I mean, like I said, my working hours were, a bit strange compared to the average working person in Japan. But the conditions were quite good, I guess, for your daily life. You know, you go to work, you don't have so much stuff to do. I mean, you have stuff to do, right? But you have to teach and stuff, but you don't have to bring your work home with you. There's not any overtime. Whereas, you know, for most Japanese people, they're expected to work overtime. And yeah, I did have a good work-life balance. My coworkers became my friends. And yeah, I had actually a really good time my first couple of years here. I'm still having a good time. But, you know, moved on from that job for various reasons. It's a little windy, sorry. But yeah. Then, you know, I've had other jobs here too. Now I'm actually working part-time a few places, so that's a bit better for me, for my scheduling and stuff. I can come home for dinner and whatnot. So, you know, little things like that I appreciate. But I think one big benefit of working in Japan is that your coworkers kind of become more like, I don't want to use that toxic word family to talk about coworkers so much, but in a way, yeah, I feel like in Japan people are closer to their coworkers, but they're not at the same time. So people kind of put up guards around who they consider a friend and who they consider a coworker, but it's kind of blurry when you're out with your coworkers. It may seem like you're friends, but you know, you're not actually friends. You're just, you know, enjoying your time together, and you'll not really actually see these people on other times. But a lot of people have a lifestyle like that where they'll work, and then you're actually kind of forced to go out drinking with clients or your boss or something like that after work. So it does give you a bit of a social aspect to your work. And the drinking culture here is strong. So, yeah. That's actually kind of expected of you to go out with your coworkers. Oh, there's a cat. A lot of, maybe you all saw that, I don't know. A lot of stray cats around Japan. They scare me. Anyway, yeah, so going out with people after work is kind of expected. Old traditional style would be if your boss asks you to go out, you can't really refuse to go out. You're gonna have to go out with your boss. So it just really does depend on your company. If your company's more foreign run, then things are gonna be more similar to what you'd expect in the West. But you know, vice versa. Yeah. All right. Well, let's see. Yeah, I think that's about it, you know? But yeah, thanks for coming in and watching. It was pretty cool. We got to see a train today. I hope that you learned a little bit about work life in Japan. I know that I'm a bit rambly sometimes, so my apologies. But yeah, this is what Japan looks like at 1:30 in the morning. See, the shops are kind of closed, but it's peaceful. It's nice. It's pretty good. All right, guys, I'm gonna head back home, but take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.